Okay, so a very good morning to our fellow lecturer. So my name is Sam Jing Yu and I'm from Group 8. Today, our group will present the topic for the automotive HVAC system, and the topic for the report is charging process. Okay, so now we proceed with the introduction. Okay, so HVAC is stand for heating, ventilation, and air conditioner. So HVAC can be referred as a system that control and distribute the heat or the cool air in a enclosed region. So although the HVAC are available in a variety of configuration, but they all function in the same way. Okay, so the HVAC system primary function in a vehicle air conditioner is to purify and circulate the air throughout the vehicle while also adding or removing unwanted heat from the passenger cabin. Okay, so basically there are two types of automobiles air conditioning system, which are expansion valve system and also the fixed orifice valve system. Okay, so although each of the two type is unique, but the concept and the design are very similar. Okay, so there are a few component for the HVAC common components. Yeah. Okay, so the components are compressor, condenser, evaporator, and refrigerant. Okay, so the refrigerant is one of the main component in the HVAC system. So the refrigerant is similar as the blood in our human body. So the blood in our human body will carry the oxygen and carrying to the every organ in our body, and same for refrigerant. So the refrigerant will absorb and release the heat in the system. Okay, therefore this report will explain the process related to the refrigerant charging. So the refrigerant charging always come after system repair or when there is a leakage in the system. And in addition, the standard operating procedure SOP for conducting the refrigerant charging process is also tabulated, and the observation was conducted. So that's all for my part. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Fifilmi bin Saiful Anwar. So for my part in this report is the literature reviews. So as we know, the refrigerant charging process is to replenish the refrigeration system with refrigerant when it is depleted due to leaks or repair. So the common refrigerant used in automated HVAC system are R12 Freon, R134A, R1234YF. So the R1234YF is the latest refrigerant and known for its environmental friendliness. So the refrigerant charging method can be summarized into 8 types, which are the weighing refrigerant charge, current method, pressure method, mirror refrigerant method, liquid level gauge method, superheat refrigerant charge, liquid refrigerant charge, and gas filling method. So the objective of this method is to retouch the optimal amount of refrigerant into the AC system. So we move along to the first method, which is weighing refrigerant charge. So this is the picture show we measure the amount of refrigerants, initial and final. So we can calculate the amount of refrigerant enter the system. And then the second one is pressure method. Pressure method uses low pressure side gauge and high pressure gauge. So they have certain amount of pressure which uh, needed to be filled. So the next one is mirror refrigerant. So in this case, the mirror shows how much the amount of refrigerant in the AC system. So we recharge according to the level in this mirror. The next one is liquid level gauge method. In this case, there will be a tank which contain the refrigerant. So there is a limit, upper limit and lower limit. So when the refrigerant reach the lower limit, we have to fill accordingly. And then the next one is superheat refrigerant charge. So this uses the temperature accordingly to the refrigerant charge. So there will be a chart for each type of the gas according to the temperature needed to be recharged and amount of refrigerant to be refilled. And then liquid refrigerant charge, the liquid of the refrigerant will be pumped into the AC system using this method, which is similar to the pressure method. And then the last but not least, the gas filling method. Gas filling method also is quite similar to the pressure method. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Man Shafili. So now I will proceed to the equipment and tools for this practice and the SOP for this practice. There are a few equipment in this task, which is the first one is refrigerant tank, which is R134A refrigerant. It used to connect to the condenser for storage the free refrigerant in the system. The second one is manifold gauge. It used to measure the pressure in the system and to ensure the consistency of the product, and it's also to insulate or block the fluid in the system. And the third one is the set of flexible hose and the adapter. The flexible hose are used to carry the fluid to the system, which is carry the refrigerant, and the adapter is used as the platform to connect the manifold gauge with to the manifold gauge to the AC system. And the last one is the goggle and the glove safety. Both of these are used to avoid any injury during running this practice. Okay, next we proceed to the SOP for this practice. Before we start this practice, we should wear the goggle and the glove for the safety. Okay, the first step is we should identify which one the high and low service port, and then we remove the port cap. After that, connect the red color hose gauge with to the high port, and then the blue color hose gauge connect to the low pressure port. But make sure both of these gauge in the zero, and make sure also the valve in closed position. Okay, after connecting, open them by turning the knob clockwise until they stop, and then observe and record the pressure at the manifold gauge. But take note, if the pressure less than 85 to 95 psi, please add the refrigerant to the system. But if the pressure far below that value, maybe the system must be checked for if they are leaking. Then place the refrigerant tank in the upright side like you can see like this figure, and then connect the center of the hose manifold gauge to the refrigerant tank. Open the valve of refrigerant tank, and then open the low side valve of the manifold gauge while observing the low pressure gauge. But make sure the high side valve must be in closed position. To finish setting the equipment, start the car and turn on the AC. Make sure set to the maximum cooling and low speed fan. Then while observing the pressure gauge, load the vapor of refrigerant added to the system until the pressure reach the recommended value of pressure, which are 200 psi for discharging pressure and 25 psi for the suction pressure. And then after fill the refrigerant into the system properly and fully, and then the both of two hose valves, which are red and blue hose valve, must be closed. After close the blue and red color hose valve, disconnect the refrigerant valve from the center hose of manifold, and reinstall the port cap. After that, make sure the temperature control set to the minimum position, and the fan speed control set to off position. After that, switch off the vehicle and store the equipment. That's all.
My name is Usman bin Jamal. As per observation we get from the experiment is firstly about the charging process. The refrigerant should not charge on the high side because the head pressure of the compressor will be higher than the evaporation pressure in the canister, as it would push the refrigerant back into the refrigerant tank unless the system is not operating. So the refrigerant is charged through the low side port to allow refrigerant can easily flow from a high pressure refrigerant cylinder to the chiller's comparatively low pressure evaporator charging valve. Next is refrigerant tank vapor charging. Since the charging method used in this practice was the gas filling method, which can be referred to as vapor charging, thus only refrigerant vapor or gas is allowed to enter the system. The refrigerant tank is kept in the upright position so that only gas leaves the tank. Vapor charging is recommended to avoid flooding the compressor with refrigerant and potentially damaging the compressor. Therefore, every refrigerant tank has an indicator of the flow phase of the refrigerant according to the position setup. Next is during the charging process, the vehicle is started and the AC is on with the temperature control set for maximum cooling, which the purpose of this action is to ensure a suitable amount of refrigerant is added to the system, thus preventing overcharging or undercharging of refrigerant. Lastly is the refrigerant is added according to the recommended amount by referring to the recommended pressure display on the pressure gauge. The refrigerant is added until the discharge pressure sits close to 13 bar, while for suction pressure it's close to 1.7 bar.
Ya, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Yusman Syari Azam bin Yusman Zuhadi. I will continue this presentation about conclusion. This experiment is related to the practice of refrigerant charging process from the refrigerant system. The practice has a successful outcome for the student, where students were exposed to the operating procedure for charging the refrigerant into the refrigerant system. The type of equipment used for the process are a refrigerant tank, a manifold gauge, a set of flexible hose with adjustable adapter, and some PPE. Additional, since a leak test has been conducted before this experiment, therefore there is an absence in occurrence of blockage and leaking in the system. Thus, the result of this experiment show that the refrigerant system of the training equipment, which is we use the Produa MyV, has been recharged to the recommended amount of refrigerant with the appropriate procedure and tools. Okay, that's all from our group, which is our group has done of the experiment charging process. Thank you.